The first ever study of creepiness was done just a few weeks ago and had a really interesting result, which is that men and women experience creepiness differently. Men think of creepiness as taxidermy, as the supernatural scary movies. Clowns, those sorts of things. Women have those same associations. Plus, one more women associate creepiness with men. And that was the inspiration for this video because it dawned on me that somewhere in the course of every guy's life is he's flirting. He has done something creepy. I know I have, and the reason is because we don't have the same understanding of creepy that women do, so I figured that by diving into the most common ways that guys are creepy without realizing it, I could save you that trouble and hopefully take you off of a path you don't want to be on. So the first thing that you might be doing, and that I see guys do all the time because I live in Las Vegas, is with eye contact. Creepiness typically follows a Goldilocks rule, which is to say that too little and too much are both bad. You need to get it just right. We all know what too much eye contact looks like. It's the guy who sees a girl and he's drunk, so he just stares at her all right. Or it's the guy who gets right up in her face and he's just too close. He's invading your personal space too little, though. Can be uncomfortable as well. That's when a guy comes up from behind a girl and approaches her and just starts saucers. Oh my God, what were you doing there? Or I see this all the time on the dance floor, guy who kind of like slips in and starts grinding up behind a girl without her really realizing he's there. And all of a sudden, surprise, there he is. So the rule for eye contact when it comes to approaching a woman that you're interested is that you want to have enough that she can sense you coming, but not so much that she's seen you standing there for 15 minutes, working up the courage to talk to her. What that means is that within the first 1, 2, maybe 3 times did you make eye contact with her. You need to go speak to her now. I realize that this is hard because the first time can go crap. That's a pretty girl second time. Oh God. What do I say third? Oh no, she saw me. And then you're like, 6 times later, you don't know what to do. How do you train yourself to speak to a girl once you've made eye contact just a few times? Here's how. Start while you're out in a bar or a club, making eye contact with everybody. Waitstaff, bussers, men, women, whoever it is, make these little interactions of eye contact. I throw in a smile, so you walk past someone, you get a little smile right third. If you want, you can throw in a high five, a wave, whatever, and what you're aiming for. Here one is to feel, first off, internally comfortable with these tiny little interactions, so you're not just staring at your feet the whole time. And second, it's to see how many people you can get to respond in kind, because every person who responds with a smile, a high five, a wave, that is an invite to go start a conversation with them. The way that you're going to get good at this, I will tell you right now. A little hint for you is that the more fun that you're having, the better. Each one of these micro interactions will go if you're having the time of your life. People are going to just about 100% want a high five, whatever. Hey, what's up, man? They're going to want to be part of that if you're really nervous and bored looking. Hey, nobody's going to respond to you. So start doing that. Then you can direct it towards the women that you're interested in speaking to, specifically now. So you've gone up, you're standing there, you're having fun. You see a woman, you've caught her eye. You smile and wave. If she smiles and waves back, done, she sensed you, you can walk up. Maintain eye contact while you're going with a smile on your face and say, God, just about anything. An easy one to go is we just made awkward eye contact. If I didn't say hi, it was about to get weird, right? Little joke, and now you're talking, what's up? I'm Charlie, super easy. I literally came up with that off the top of my head, but that should work. So that's the first thing, eye contact. The second thing is you're going to be in conversation at some point, right? Conversation has a million ways to be creepy. There's a million ways you can do it wrong. But the most common one that I tend to see is with compliments. Men go out and they see a woman. They're attracted to this. Happens all the time in Vegas. I overhear it and they say things like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Like, wow. I don't even know, like, we don't have women like you where I come from. It's wow. I'm like, you just made me so nervous. And again, well-intentioned, they really are nervous. They don't know what to do, but what they don't realize is that every time you compliment someone, you increase the amount of tension that they feel. And if you've ever been over-complimented, perhaps by someone at work who wanted a promotion or an intern, it feels like, okay, what is this didn't want? Like when what are they buttering me up for? So you need to find a way to release the tension that you create. When you compliment people, you can still compliment women. In fact, you should. That's one of the most effective ways to show them that you're interested. So what do? You combine the compliment, which creates tension, with a joke, which releases tension. This is a big topic. It's a technique called push-pull or pull-push, whatever you want to call it. I have another video on it. It's here on YouTube. I'll throw a link in the description. I'll link up here. It's got examples from Russell Brand Craig. Ferguson, really good wash it after this one. We're gonna move on though to the third piece, which is touching Goldilocks rule again. In effect, too much, too little, not gonna work too much. Obvious guy who's grabbing the girl being really aggressive again tends to occur when guys are drunk too little though. Just as creepy and just as bad. I was guilty of this in the past for sure. I'd walk up and be talking to a girl and I feel like I'm kind of interested. I wanna see if she's gonna respond and I'd like tap her on the shoulder or we take a picture and I'd read over. I kind of like hover hands as I gently laid my hand on her shoulder, very, like that's creepy. You don't want to be doing that because that indicates some sort of incongruence in you, and we're going to talk about a little bit more about that. But basically, incongruence is when what you're saying and what you're doing don't match, which creates the impression in high rate that you have something to hide that is the core of creepiness. So how do you touch the right way? What's really important here is that you realize there's not just one way I live in Las Vegas. I go out all the time. If you have a certain level of social acuity, you could probably run up, give a woman a hug grab, or spin around dances on the dance floor. No problem, but that I can't recommend blankets to every single person. Because if you haven't developed that sense of social awareness, you might run into serious problems. So the safest way to do this is to think of it like this. Early in interaction, once you're talking to someone, even as you're like kind of maneuvering for a crowd through the crowd, anywhere from 1 to 3 seconds somewhere on her arm in North American culture is generally safe. You're gonna be fine. That's not too much. That's a fine amount to see where her level of receptiveness is. So if this is her shoulder, this is my hand. While I'm talking, I go, hey, me and my friends are gonna go over there at the bar. Do you guys wanna come with us? I press my hand here. I get her attention. I take it off her wee high. 5 I give her. If she makes me laugh again, that's freaking awesome here. I 5 hold her hand for a second. 1, 2, let it go. That amount is going to give me the most crucial thing, which is information. Because creepiness comes from not taking social cues at this point. I need to be receptive and open. How does she feel about that? If I say, let's go over the bar, she says, sure, grabs my hand and walks to the bar with me. She's clearly comfortable touching me, at least to some degree, which means next time maybe I'll give her a hug. Maybe we go to the dance floor. But if I touch a girl, I go, hey, we're going to the bar, and she goes like that. He goes, yeah, we're gonna stay here. That's a pretty clear indication that, okay, she's not feeling comfortable enough with me for whatever reason. Maybe that's how she is. Maybe she's having a bad day. Maybe she just doesn't like the color of my shirt, that she does not want me to be touching her. And what that means is one of two things. I can A, and the interaction, or B, go back to speaking to her with less touching, see if we can connect a little bit more, and then in a couple minutes see how she feels with a similar kind of, 1, 2, 3 second touch. If that doesn't get any better, guess what not? A match time to move on, so that is touching 1 of 3 seconds on the arm. Generally, you're safe. But of course, pick up the feedback and act accordingly. This is where creepiness comes in. It's the guys that don't receive that feedback, the fourth thing. Trapping, this is the one I see, guys most unaware of, which is, again, it's tough because you've never experienced this. But if you're a guy, what you tend to not realize is that most of the women you're interested in are gonna be smaller than you. They're gonna lose in a fight to you, right? They're gonna be shorter. They're gonna look way less, all of these things that make you a literal physical threat to them. This is why women over thousands of years have identified a sense of creepiness. It's a visceral feeling of this might not be safe for me. So you can imagine a time where you're trapping them physically in a small space, even if you're just talking to them and the conversation is going great, that it might make her feel like, oh my gosh, I need to go out of here, unless she has a very high degree of comfort with you. So I see this happen. A guy and a girl having a great conversation. They go, let's sit down over here. They go to a booth. She slides in first. He slides in second, and it's ruined because now he has trapped her in this booth and she doesn't realize it. But all of a sudden she's going, I need to get out of here. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to find my friends. I need to just not be here. Same thing occurs at bars, right? Guy walks up, the woman's at a bar, her back is to a bar here. She's facing me. Say I am not physically blocking her exit. Worse, if 2 of my friends come up to say hi. Now we've got a wall of guys blocking her exit. That is no bueno, right? So when it comes to trapping, just be thinking, put your own back on the column, put your own back on the wall, put your own back on the inside of that little booth, right? That is going to keep her feeling like she can walk away, and it's going to have you arranged the right way. So don't trap, simple thing. Make sure that you are the one who is having a tougher time exiting than her. That is the most common things I see about creepiness. I could not possibly do the topic of how to flirt or how to not be creepy at justice in this short video. But I hope that you guys have found this helpful. If there is other things that you're interested about flirting, generally, go ahead, write them in the comments. I'm not trying to make this channel a flirting channel, but it is, of course, an interactive experience that all humans have at some point. So if there's questions you have on it, I do want to touch on them here. If you're curious as a guy, what to say when you walk up to a woman because you know you've got the eye contact, you know, not to do all these other things. What do you actually say? We actually set up a different video. This one's off of YouTube, but if you click the link here, it's going to take you to a different site. You drop your email on the thing, and you can go watch this video on the 3 things that I say to start 99% of the conversations that I have. They're very basic, they're very simple. They work in the get conversation, rolling in an easy way. So if you're curious what those are, go ahead and do that, of course, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel. Typically, they don't do a lot of dating stuff like this. But this is something that occurred to me because of this home creepiness thing and some of the things I've seen in Vegas. But we do have charisma breakdowns. We have these talking head style videos or answer your questions from the comments about how to be more charismatic and confident in your life. So if you've not yet done so, you want to see your videos on the homepage, subscribe to the channel. And of course, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.